So, every end finally got verified, and I always had this sort of rule that I'm not allowed to talk about levels until they are finished and released. And I wanted to talk about this level the moment the original showcase dropped. Now I can finally talk about it, so yeah, let's talk about every end. I personally think that this level is one of Minecap's best, and I'd actually put this above Limbo in terms of how much I love this level. However, that does come down to a tiny little bit of bias, I will admit. This level is within the realm of stuff that I've been kind of obsessed with lately, and that's old style, like, pre 1.7 kind of like map pack era gameplay, right? I have been enamored by this sort of old school timing focused memory-esque gameplay. Like, not really memory, but kind of memory in the sense of like they're kind of pick-a-pathy, and the gameplay in every end really reminds me of the older top one, stuff like To the Grave, and especially Extreme Park, with how, again, the pick-a-path parts kind of work. Of course, the elephant in the room is the background with the level. This background effect is, even in 2.2, kind of insane, right? Like, it looks simple, but when you start to think about the logistics of how you would make an effect like this, yeah, this background is insane, but aside of the background, the deco honestly is relatively simple, and despite that, I don't think it looks bad, and it really goes to show how timeless the old sort of RobTop style honestly is if you execute it well. I will definitely say this level is not going to be for everyone. It's a very old style of gameplay. The level is very simple, and also it's a 7.5 minute long level of just this, and I could definitely see how that could get monotonous for some people, but I am in love with this. And the main thing about this level that I legitimately love about it is just how much of a return to form it is. Like, this level, if you were to strip away the background effect, really wouldn't feel out of place among levels like Extreme Park and To the Grave and Demon Park and Demon World and all the levels of that sort of era. This really does feel like that sort of top one. Like, if the game never got an update after update 1.4, right? But the community kept going in the exact same way, we just never got the duel or the wave or any of that, and we still had old-style gameplay, this is what top ones would probably have ended up looking like. And I love it for that. I love that this level exists to kind of show that just because it's old doesn't mean it has to die, and I genuinely hope that every end ends up being a sort of stepping stone to lead creators to making more levels with this old style of gameplay, because some of the hitbox abuse in this level, and some of the memory used in this level, and some of the structuring in this level really proves that there is still a lot you can do with this gameplay style. And, you know, it also tears into things that other creators have said, good and bad, right? Like, it really validates Stormfly's video about how two-player mode should be pushed, because, yeah, this level doesn't do anything with two-player mode, but what it does do is just show that you can take an old concept and push it, and I genuinely think that if you were to do something like this with other aspects of the game, you could really make something interesting here. I don't know, it might be the fact that I've been kind of disillusioned with 2.2 levels and really haven't been enjoying them all too much, but I really, really like this, and there is one singular thing that bothers me, but it's not about the level itself. The level only received a star rate, and this kind of bothers me. Now, on the surface, I get where some people are going to come from when they defend this, like, yeah, the level looks pretty simple, right? And RobTop wants to, you know, rate it because it's good, but also kind of put it to the side while promoting some of the big 2.2 projects. But what really annoys me about that is every end, in my opinion, is everything I've been wanting to see from a new big rate, right? 2.2 levels nowadays seem to focus a lot on the visuals while not caring at all about the gameplay, and every end, what I like about it is that it does both through simplicity. It cares a ton about the gameplay and a ton about the visuals, and makes them both great through simple and very static execution. The decoration isn't too overboard, just a simple, cool effect, and there you go. The gameplay is just old 1.4 style demon gameplay pushed to the absolute limit. And I genuinely think that this level is kind of a good message to creators that sometimes you don't need to do these extravagant YouTube levels in order to make something memorable, because even though this is super simple, it in and of itself has kind of become a YouTube level in the sense of it has gotten a ton of views online, and people do genuinely like this level. The reason this level getting a star rate bothers me, despite the fact that I have, like, publicly given up on the rate standards and I don't actually care if a level is rated, the reason this one bothers me so much is because I was hoping that this level would get at least an epic, right? I do think this level deserves around an epic rate, at least in my opinion, and I was hoping that it would get that, and that would motivate creators to experiment rather than just making After Effects visuals with gameplay in front of it. And, I don't know, it just disappoints me a little bit, but I mean, at the very least, I am still happy that it got a star rate at all, and I just hope that this level can motivate people to try something new when creating, because, yeah. I will say, every end is definitely a unique level on its own, aside of the hype about it being old-style gameplay and pushing the creating community, because I gotta say, this level uses its length flawlessly, and it kind of creates this isolated feel, right? Like, it makes you feel kind of hopeless, because, I don't know, this level just feels... I really don't know how to explain it, but you can feel its length, right? And it's one of those things where a lot of XLs are just long for the sake of length, and at most maybe to tell a story within that length. But this level uses its length purely to intimidate you, and it is effective, and I think that I find that really cool and really impressive. Because with most levels, the length usually doesn't really feel like it's the most important part. This level uses the length as part of its theming. And, honestly, theming-wise, in and of itself, I do genuinely like the idea of this level, that it's just a level that's supposed to feel like it doesn't end. It's just cool. In general, regardless of if the creating community decides to be influenced by this level and use it as inspiration, regardless of the fact that it only got a star rate and didn't get an epic, which I still am upset about that. Regardless of all of that, I think that on its own, I need to just be happy that this level got a rate, and I can definitely just show my own appreciation for the level by making this video. And yeah, that's really all I have to say. I'm gonna give the level a 10. This is yet another banger from Mindcap.